Okay, we got Sedgehun playing Wulfar in the teal versus Zested playing Sedge in the black. So we're gonna see Sedgehun go up against his main, or I guess former main. He hasn't been playing Sedge as much in Wargroove 2, which is kind of funny because Sedge is really, really good in Wargroove 2. But he requires a playstyle that is far more reserved. You have to be able to stall and get groove. And then once you get your tier 1 active, like you can really start playing the game a lot more. But that said, I guess Sedgehun's just like wanting to be more active these days. He's playing commanders that have like faster charging tier 1s like Lighter and Wulfar. And I guess like there's an element of just like Sedgehun wants to win. And this game, for the record, was actually played pretty much at the start of the round. Like people, it might have actually been the day before the round officially started. But Sedgehun is like traveling a bunch right now, so this is like the brief couple days they were home before they could actually play the next game. So yeah, they got as many games in as quickly as they could, and that might also have affected their commander picks. Like, I don't want to play a stally commander 3 games in a row potentially when I've got like 1 day to play all my games, so I'm gonna play a more aggressive commander. And in this case, yeah, they're just going to play Wulfar, they're going to heal up. We're going to see them probably go for this village next and go center, whereas Zested going for the side more. Interesting. Oh, actually decides not to, realizes that Knight's kind of threatening. Doesn't really want to get trapped in the corner either, so... Oh, and going to be very bold up in this top corner. But this means one of these swords is going to go down. For absolutely sure. Or we're going to see 2 swords go down. We go for that unit counter advantage instead. Because both of these swords up on this top right can hit. And oh, actually, no, decides to go hit on one sword, knock down the village. Yeah, it's a pretty good turn. There was a bunch of options to like how you do that situation, but Legion's just like, yeah, I just want to like limit my opponent's options and I can retake the economy at my own pace. This village will go down to like whatever just like looks at it basically, so. A balloon coming up. Spear balloon from Sedgehun, so they're actually going to go for like a more grindy playstyle themselves. Finish off this sword. I guess they just really want to get Wulfar tier 2. Commanders doing actions is a much bigger groove charge builder than letting units do it for you, so it just wants to be active. And ooh, Thief coming out here from Zested. A very early Thief. Would have to have been built like turn 6, I guess. Yeah, like that Thief was built quite a while ago, but I mean, it got a steal. The downside to this is you lose like an earlier knight. You go for a Thief that early. And Sedgehun will have a stronger army just for a little bit. Like, Thieves take a while to pay off. So you see them more in like the mid and late game. Like, we're coming to like the end of the early game. Heading into mid game right now. Commanders have groove charge, like armies are starting to meet in the center. Ooh, we're gonna see Spear just take a lot of damage. I don't know how I feel about that. Gonna do a lot of counterattack. Sedge is also backing this up, 69%. Nice. And I guess, yeah, it just wants to stay out of Wulfar range. Everything just went out of Wulfar's range because tier 2 is going to come up any moment now. Walks back and heals. Knight goes down. Ooh. That's a big, big deal. Because now... Oh, I like that. Covers the mage. Very bold mage move, but covers it with the knight. The knight's just going to be very cautious itself. Don't want to lose a knight for no reason. Oh, nice damage coming in here. Knocks that village down. Gonna kind of slowly push forwards. And Sedge getting close to tier 1 now. The big thing is that you want to just be able to have your groove on the turn that you want to use it. So like getting like just below the groove charge now. That's the big change from Wargroove 1 to Wargroove 2, is that before, like, it was the start of your turn, or the start of your opponent's turn, you knew what kind of groove they would have, and now it's like you have to measure, can my opponent get groove this turn with the rest of their army? What am I leaving open for them to hit? Like, will they have that option? So Sedge is just being very cautious here, not letting anything get too close. Doesn't want to lose units for no good reason. And then allow Sedge to build groove charge in 90% now. Getting close, but not quite yet. We're going to see a lot of this stuff just moves back. And Sedge is like kind of doing some pressure. Ooh, very far forward, but because everything's backed off so much, like Sedge can't afford to move forward that much. Yeah, we're going to see a little bit of an interaction up on this, or down this bottom left corner, I should say. Clean knight hit, no real punish on that. Wulfar going to have access to tier 2. Almost surprised we're not seeing like just a sword getting flung across the map doing a bunch of army damage. But I guess you want something to follow that up with. That said, the longer you hold tier 2 charge, the more groove potential you're wasting, because like you fire that groove into your opponent and then all of a sudden like you can just do a whole bunch of damage, and then you can get ready for your next groove. But no, Sedgehun wants to hold it, and I guess the threat of lethal is also a big deal, so that kind of makes sense. Like you could get a commander's worth of damage from long range. And actually it's like slightly more than a commander's worth, because I think the second hit calculates the defense loss. So doing half commander damage twice I think is actually better than doing it full damage once. Oh, and just flings a sword into their opponent. This just wants to keep a lot of this stuff busy. Oh, he's just gonna get a kill. I guess maybe want to like make the knight a bit weaker. Yeah, it can't do the follow-up crit now unless the mage heals. So this village is safe in the top right. So yeah, actually very smart long-term play from Sedgehun there. But yeah, this game is like turning into a longer one. Rifle comes out. You got a thief coming out as well, or coming back I should say. And here's the difference. This knight being on full health didn't get hit by a sword, for example, earlier, so Sedgehun actually able to flip this village. Whereas on the top right hand side, it's going to take a mage heal on this knight to get it to the point where it could do that. Ooh, Wulfar's actually going to push forwards a bit here. Sedge has tier 1, but that's not the scary tier. Tier 2 is when Sedge becomes terrifying. Tier 1 is just when he actually is able to do anything, really. Ooh, we're going to see Thief and Rifle get repositioned, and oh right, yeah, Zest is just like, nope. If you want to go forwards with your commander, you're going to have to go through me. And this is a really solid wall right here. It would be an incredibly bold play to try and break it. But while this is going on, huge army in the bottom left that's just going to do a lot of work. Okay, regular dog hit. Okay, Sedgehun's just like, yeah, I can just go for that. Yeah, really nice push on the bottom left. Sedgehun just a little bit further ahead as far as the corners go. Wulfar's just going to reposition. Get ready to put pressure on the strongholds. And has just enough army over on this right hand side to defend. And being Wulfar, you can just golf a unit up to support if you need to. Okay, Knight did actually heal. So it's going to be able to flip this village. Oh, Golem takes a little bit of counter attack damage. Not ideal because, yeah, like, you want your Golem on full health so it can one-shot stuff. If it takes enough chip damage, it stops being able to one-shot mages, it stops being able to one-shot spears. And Zested, fearing for their stronghold's life, is now like, okay, I need to do something about this. And I actually wonder if the stronghold might be under lethal pressure this turn, because I think Wulfar can just go off a unit in front. And you've got the witch hex as well. No, it doesn't go for it this turn. Oh, maybe you could have killed this spear actually and gotten the knight crit follow up. And just had like a big push behind all of this, but doesn't go for it. Okay, this is just gonna go for kind of a slower pressure game. Flips villages, make sure this top right isn't gonna get rewarded too much. Yeah, and just staying ahead on economy very slightly. Zested now under a lot of pressure to keep pushing forwards, and ooh, Golem gonna take some damage as well. Knight's gonna get into position to hit this village, I think. Interesting. And Zested, they're just trapped in front of their stronghold. They really, really want another 50% groove. And actually, there is this thing about this thief, which also makes me question it, is that thieves don't get groove, and you want to build groove as Sedge. Like, you want knights, just so you can hit things. And oh, is this a dead golem? It is. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Because, yeah, rifle crit, able to open it up first. And now Sedgehun can just push up on this top right hand side. And it doesn't matter if they can't kill their opponent's stronghold just yet. Because they're going to be able to win the fight in the top right, have a bigger econ. That said, they've got about 19 minutes left on the clock. So they need to win this pretty quickly. They need to convert off of this top right hand side. But Zest is a little bit behind on timer, so it's up to them to be able to get something out of it. And I'm gonna say it, like, if you're 17 minutes into a game and you've got like 16 minutes left on the clock, you're not playing fast enough. And I realize that that's like a pretty harsh thing to say, but it is very true. Like, there should be probably another 5 to 10 minutes on this clock right now. But it's really difficult to play that fast. And I do recognize that. Sedgehun, yeah, they're just gonna flip all these villages back now. Golem gonna threaten to keep this force back here. And now Sedgehun honestly should just move the rest of their army over to this position and try and lethal stronghold. And I guess the main thing is they just need to keep playing quickly, and oh, another village gets flipped. And Sedgehun has just so much of the map right now. And Zested, 900 gold at the start of their turn. And this is the player with the thief as well. Okay, Knight's coming through, doing some good damage. And Sedge, oh, so close to tier 2, 175%. And they really do just want to get a little bit more, because as soon as Sedge comes online, I can do a ton of damage. That said, you have to be so careful when there's a Wulfar around. And a witch. Because Sedge could just spot, like, Sedgehun could just spot a lethal and go for it. And oh, this balloon actually got trapped. How funny. Oh, another village getting flipped. And what, the mage just, yeah, finished off the balloon. As long as Sedgehun doesn't let anything silly happen, like the spears just march up to the stronghold while everything else is distracted, I think they can take this. And yeah, Cole's just gonna shuffle on back. I do actually wonder if you just start stacking units, just like going for trades, but that's the thing Sedge wants to have happen. So yeah, Sedge is just gonna go for kind of safe kills right now. That said, I think Sedge is going to get groove. I think we're going to see Zested with groove at the end of this turn. Was that going to be 193? Going to see this sword go down. 199. Okay, one thing needs to get hit. Literally anything. And then Sedge has groove. And I guess if you're not going to groove this turn, it's fine to save it. actually, I'm just gonna hit a village. Okay, now Sedge has groove. He's online. Tier 2 is active. But there's only 10 minutes left on the clock. And this is going to be really difficult for both players. 13 minutes for Sedgehun, so they're just far enough ahead on the clock that they can win. Should it come to some kind of timer situation. And there's one rifle just like holding it down against this giant army. But yeah, one rifle is actually enough a lot of the time. Just like being able to pummel infantry with bullets. And yeah, Wulfar is very scary too. And Sedgehun's just going to keep backing up. Doesn't want to go into like a trade situation. That said, they had enough economy that I think you just start building witches and throwing them into harpies. Because like you're up enough economy that you can do that, and then you force your opponent to expose units. And Sedge has groove now. Like tier 2 is up, so. But yeah, how are they gonna finish this? Like this is a very long game. A very stalematey end game, and Sedge has to be so careful as well. Like if you lose your commander, or if you leave any holes open, I should say, like Wulfar will punish. Like there is always the threat of a commander's worth of damage on your commander. But actually, I wonder if Sedgehun should just have more witches just to threaten lethal. And there we go, second witch is coming up. Gonna see Wulfar probably back up a little bit and just wait for the overextension. And Zested has to be the aggressor. They are just far enough behind on time that it's really going to come into play. And ooh, nice thief steal. So the thief actually gets his third steal of the game. But oh, Zested needs like another 5 minutes on their clock, I think, at this point in the game. Like they're going to move everything really quickly, and we're going to see a lot of turns that are going to take like maybe like a minute at most. Possibly 2, but oh, I think Sedgehun's just going to go in now. I think this is the time. Is the damage going to be enough? They're just going to reposition their army. Oh, they're going to wait another turn. I guess you build one more witch. Yep, third witch comes out. And that is a flat 30% plus commander damage from range. So oh no, wait, there's 4 witches, sorry. 40% damage. So yeah, Sedge cannot walk forwards. He will absolutely die. Now it's just going to come down to who can do better on timer. And this is what happens when you play Sedge. Like, that said, Zest is a little bit up on timer now, so it could actually come down to like, potentially sudden death. Ooh, Knight is going to run in. We're going to see a Knight crit come. And is this actually going to be enough? Is there going to be a follow-up to this? No, we're just going to see chip damage come in. And I think the idea is to have Sedge follow up and get a kill. And force Sedge into a position where they actually have to fight. Or Sedgehun, sorry, I should say. Oh, but we're going to see some units go down. Any kind of like free kill that can come up, and Sedgehun just banking gold at this point. I think that's a really smart plan. We're going to see another witch get built in a moment here, and yeah, you don't have to move everything. You can leave a lot of these units in place, but Sedgehun's just going to do a lot of quick moves. Dragon comes out, double dragon actually makes sense, and you just want like some mages close to the front as well, so you can punish the witches if they get too far forward. You got this nice little conga line in front of Sedge. Okay, what Zest is going to do. First hex comes out. I think they realized like this is the time we have to fight. And Sedge is in range to get a punish. So rifle crit is going to do a lot of damage. And I think actually, oh, dragon hit's gonna do it, and we're gonna see a lethal. Wulfar just stood a little bit too close, and Sedge is gonna walk forwards, get the kill, and that was the moment Zested was waiting for. They were just like, I just need to get him close enough to my commander with one side open. I've got the rifle in the back as well. And that was such a good pick. And Zested gonna take it in a very, very patient game. Oh, and yeah, like Sedgehun was just a little bit ahead on time. Didn't use Wulfar Groove the entire game. I actually think they could have pulled a bigger advantage if they popped that earlier. And then just left it, get tier 1. Go for a bigger play, but no, they just... Zested was just very, very patient and waited for the perfect lethal opportunity. And Sedgehun went down, unfortunately. Like, they had the witches first. They had, like, the bigger witch count. They had the bigger damage on lethal. Commander damage is more than Sedgehun, or Sedge's, oh, it's so confusing having one person called Sedgehun and one person using the Commander Sedge. But, yeah. And that's actually a very iconic way to open game 1, like, using your opponent's commander that they're the most known for, like, literally to the point that they have Sedge in their name, and killing them with the Sedge lethal at the end, so... Yeah, very cool game 1. I really enjoyed that one, and we're gonna see Zested take it.